Hello, I'm Bobby Hawk, and I'm running for re-election to the Blue Springs Board of Education. I've had the opportunity to sit on the school board for the past 3 years. It's been a privilege and one that I hope to be able to continue on April 5th with your vote. Now, I'm coming to you each Friday, 5-Minute Fridays, to let you know where I stand on issues, to address questions and concerns that you have submitted or might submit. You can contact me through my Facebook page, through my Board of Education page, or you can send me an email to bobby@hawkforschoolboard.com. One of the issues that has become popular in recent months is the idea of partisan politics and a school board. And I want to give you an example. We say partisan politics, we're typically talking about party politics or party lines. School boards have not been partisan in the state of Missouri. In the last 3 years, the Blue Springs School Board has not been partisan. Now, there's 7 members on that school board, and I'm sure we all voted different and will vote different in November elections when it comes to Republican and Democrats. But we are not elected as Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Libertarians, or anything else when it comes to a school board, and it needs to stay that way. There's been a push from a state level with our legislators to make school boards partisan. There's really been a little bit of a local push to highlight partisanship on one side or the other. And let me just say this, while our personal values may align more towards one party or another, and our votes in elections might align towards one party or another, a school board must remain nonpartisan to make sure that the focus is student achievement. What is best for staff and what is best for our students. Now, sometimes we're going to have to speak out against legislation at a state level, no matter which party is putting forth that legislation, if that legislation is not what's best for kids. When you get elected on a party line, you're expected to really follow the party line. When you get elected based on money that comes from that party, there's an expectation that you're going to follow the decisions of that party. Here's the reality. In our district, we need leaders, not followers. We need people who will lead and do what's best for kids despite what groups outside of the school district, whether it's local, state, or national level leaders are doing, especially along party lines. And so a nonpartisan school board is the most effective way for school boards to lead. That's what we've had. That's what we need to continue to have. That's why I will not allow, as some other candidates might, endorsements from a political party. I don't want to hide behind a party line. I want to stand for what's best for kids. I want to communicate my values. I want to answer questions that you ask. And I don't want to simply align myself with a group of people when school boards are not partisan and should not be. I won't allow money to come from outside sources, not just party lines, but I won't allow money to come from outside unions or individuals. And the reason for that is very simple. I don't want anybody to feel like I owe them a favor if I get elected to the school board. My wife and I personally are funding this campaign. It's something that we've planned for quite some time. That's how much I believe in the role of school board members and the difference that they can have in education. I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is, but I'm certainly not going to align with a partisan group and divide the district even further. And that's exactly what happens. When a school board becomes partisan, it becomes a group of Republicans, a group of Democrats, maybe some independents in there. All of a sudden, it's all about conservative, liberal, moderate values. The talking points become divisive. The votes become separated. And instead of focusing on what's best for staff and students, it just starts to be a focus on who can get the most votes for partisanship, one side or the other. Listen, we've seen how that works in our state level. We've seen how that works on a national level. As divided as those groups are, why would we want that in our school board? Right now, we've got a great group working together. Again, we don't all vote the same in November, but we work together, we find consensus, we do what's best for kids, and at the end of the day, that's what a school board's designed to be. So if you want a school board to be partisan, I think you're overlooking the greater good. I think you're missing out on the opportunity for 7 people who have different values coming together and doing what's best for kids. And at the end of the day, that's what we should be doing. I've said this before and I'll say it over and over again. My purpose is simple. My purpose is to help staff and students fulfill theirs. In the words of my daughter's 6th grade teacher at Delta Woods, when she first entered the school year and there was a parent night, he was teaching social studies and he was teaching things about government, and he said this. He said, "My goal is not to convince your kid to be a Republican or Democrat. You've already done that. My goal is to teach them about government and how it works." And I would say the same thing. Our goal is not as school board members to be Republican or Democrat or to try to force your kids to become that either, to take party sides. Our goal is to help students achieve success through academics, through activities, and everything in between. And I continue to stand on that. I will not allow myself to be labeled partisan either direction, will not receive funding from any outside groups, because I want to do what's best for staff and students. Now, with that said, join me each and every week as we head towards the election, a little over a month away, and I'll continue to share some of the values and answer some of the questions that you have. Again, Bobby@hawkforschoolboard.com, or contact me through my Facebook page, and vote on April 5th. I appreciate your support as we continue to lead a nonpartisan school board in the Blue Springs School District and focus on what's best for staff and students. Talk to you again soon.